Hello, hello. God, I'm dark. Alpha and Omega are off today. There we go. Jesus. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is Sir David the Bard, and God, I got an unusual amount of hate mail this last couple of days. It's just from two Mormons. Read it. It tells you what they're like. Don't believe me. Look at the comments of ordinary Mormons, what cult members do. Okay, I have an exciting video for you today, one you'll never see or hear anywhere else. This is unique. The Bard has come across the Emma Smith papers. Not the Joesph Smith papers, but the Emma Smith papers. I found this in a box on a hill. And 6 angel girls showed up. Oh, I screwed up. 6 angel girls showed up and basically said, you know, this is a translation of Emma Smith's feelings and emotions about her husband, Joesph Smith. And I said, well, I'd be interested in that, and probably my fans would too. So, without any ado, and some do-do, we are going to, I know what I'm doing here. I'm hitting the keyboard. We are going to read Emma Smith's comments to Joesph. We have the Emma Smith comments written down and Joseph's response. This is really a unique document. The church would probably buy this for $10 million like they did the Hoffman papers. And I'm not saying it's fake. I'm not saying it's fake at all. Okay, let's see. We're going to start when Emma decided to marry Joesph Smith. And these are her comments. We went to my dad's house and asked him for permission to marry. He was so pissed off. I've never seen him that pissed. And Joesph over here says, well, I have. And Emma goes back and says, well, my dad asked me what his job was. And I said, he's a money digger, and he looks for precious stones in the ground. My dad slapped the shit out of me. I said, you stupid girl. And Joe said, wait a minute, that's my fiance there. And the father said, according to Emma, Joesph, you're a scam. You're a con man, and I don't want you married to my sweet daughter, Emma. Well, Joesph said, so what? I don't have respect for myself or anyone else. I'm marrying the chick. So they run away, get together, and elope. Okay, so Emma now is picking up in Kirtland, Ohio. And she is saying, Joesph, you don't have a job. And you've never found a precious stone anywhere in the world. How are we going to live? So Joesph says, well, we're going to start more of a religion. And what we're going to do is we're going to build a temple. Where are you going to get the money, Joesph? And he said, from stupid people that like Ponzi schemes. And I got an idea. And Emma said, okay, Joesph, what is your idea? And Joesph said, I'm going to print money. Emma said, you dumb bastard, you cannot print American money. And Joesph said, it's not American money, it's Mormon money. And Emma starts crying, she says, and she cried for days and days. While Joesph was at the printing press printing out Mormon money. Okay. The Kirtland Society, what was that called? The Kirtland something Society, according to Joesph here. And so what Joesph says is, I'm going to give this money to all the members of the church and our friends. And Emma says she started crying again, going, goddamn, they're going to come and get us. And Joesph says, no. He says, I have the horse saddled, and the bridle is there. So if anything comes down, if shit happens, Emma, our asses are out of here. She goes, Joesph, why did I marry you, you sick bastard? So anyway, Joesph says, all right, I don't think anything can go wrong here, Emma. we can take a little of the money for ourselves, buy food, and nobody's going to know about that. Well, pretty soon, Emma says, Joesph, I've heard some rumors. Joesph says, I'm not surprised. She says, the people you gave the money to are pissed they can't buy anything. And Joesph says, well, I don't see any problem with that. We bought shit. And so anyway, Emma says, get the horse ready. Joesph goes, you got it, babe. And the two of them, she says, jumped on that horse, and it ran until the horse's legs fell off from Kirtland. Now, I'm going to pick up Emma here in Missouri here. She says about Liberty Jail. She says, and this is a little letter she wrote to Joesph. Dear Joesph, you know, you have been in jail, tarred and feathered, run out of every town you've ever been in. You've been convicted in New York City as a money digger, and they let you out on leg bail. You had to run. You couldn't even take your horse. Now this, I'm not complaining as a wife. Well, I am complaining as a wife, trying to raise kids in this chaotic environment, and angels flying all around the house, and you reporting money fraud and things to our friends, and digging in the ground for precious jewels. My dad was right. You're a scam man and a con artist. But if you keep stealing money and I get some of it, the hell with it. Go ahead and keep going. So I don't care if you're in Liberty Jail. It's a better place than we've lived most of the time. You're living in the Marriott Center. I'm out here with 2 or 3 or 4 kids, and I'm screwed. And you're getting food. Yeah, it's human waste or whatever, but God, it's better than what we're eating. So anyway, Joesph said, well, you know, Emma, the Lord appeared to me and said, if you don't support me, he's going to take the flaming sword and shove it up your butt. And Emma said, dear Joesph, that would probably be more fun than what you shove up my butt. So anyway, we pick up Emma here now. We're coming down to Nauvoo. And she says here in her letters, let me turn the pages. What shit? So anyway, she says, Joesph, I understand that you got a charter from, I think it's Governor Boggs, that gave you the charter to have the town of Nauvoo. And I'm just as proud as hell for you that you're the mayor and you're starting a town here. And there's some people coming here that think that you're a prophet. I think that's cool. What? You're going over to the Masons? Honey, you got your own church. What do you need with the Masons? And Joesph says, I need a few fresh ideas. And Emma said, oh shit, here we go again. So Joesph comes home and Emma says, honey, you know, how was the Mason meeting? He says, it was bitchin'. I moved right up to the top of the Masons in one day. She said, honey, that takes years. And he said, not for me. I'm the mayor. I'm the prophet. And she goes, oh, shit. So Emma says she's downstairs and she's cooking and she's making a little bread and something to eat. And suddenly Joesph comes in the house with 8 or 6, well, it could have been 6 sex people, I don't know. But anyway, Emma doesn't say that, and she said they went upstairs there in the mansion house, and she said, Joesph, why do we call this the mansion house? She says, have you seen this piece of shit that we live in? It's a 2-story log cabin, and we don't have hardly any furniture. We have nothing but the bar that you created to serve drinks to strangers. And Joesph says, well, the Lord told me with a flaming sword. And Emma says, flaming sword my ass. I'm tired of angels and gold plates and translating shit, and you know, everybody in the world hates us. And he goes, well, not everybody. I've got a few scam artists that are with me. So anyway, Emma picks up here and she says, well, I found out later that Joesph went upstairs with these people and he created the endowment ceremony for his new Mormon church. And she says, I don't know what the hell an endowment is, but I know Joesph. They were probably naked. They were probably touching each other. The bastards. So anyway, Joesph responds over here, well, the Lord, has appeared to me again and again, and he's given me the endowment to help everybody get back to heaven. And so Emma said, honey, I don't want to go to heaven with you. In fact, I'm not even going to Salt Lake with you. I'm going to stay here. You, San Brigham. I'm done with the shit. I'm done with it. So Joesph says, well, honey, can you just hang on a few more years or months? And she says, all right, as long as you're bringing money in and stealing it from the neighbors, don't put my name on it. So anyway, Emma says that she came home one day, and there was a little girl, I think her name, she says it was Fannie Mae, and she was 16 years old. And Joesph said, she needs to be taken care of. Well, Emma goes, what are you going to do to take care of her? She has a teddy bear, and that's it. And Joesph over here said, no, she also has a vagina. Emma goes, good Lord, here we go again, so leave the girl alone. And Joesph says, oh, I will. And she says, you lied from the beginning. I don't believe it. Well, Emma puts down here, and sure enough, I caught him in the bedroom, and I took a broom, and I broomed her out of the house, like it's going to do any good. You know, he's still staying around with a 50-year hard-on, and, no girl in the world is safe. So anyway, Joesph comes to me a couple of months later, and he says there's two girls, they're sisters up in Canada, and their father and mother died, and they want me to be the guardian of these two girls. And Emma sits down here, how old are they? And he goes, oh, they're 16. And she goes, geez, I've already kicked one 16-year-old girl out. And Joesph says, well, you can trust me. She starts crying again. Said she cried for 4 days while the two girls were coming down from Canada. And they came down with, I think, $1,600, Emma said. And that's a hell of a lot of money these days. And so Joesph had those two girls down. And then he came back and said the Lord appeared to him again and said he can have as many wives as he wants. And she says, and I started crying again for months and months. The money wasn't even offsetting this crap. So Joesph said, now, honey, I'm marrying Helen Mar Kimball. And she says, is that Kimball's daughter? And he says, yes it is. And Emma said, all right, how old is she? Joesph goes, well, she looks old for her age, but she's 14. And Emma goes, and I started crying again. This girl has spent most of her life running on a horse and crying. And so anyway, Joesph said, well, honey, the Lord said with a flaming sword, if you don't accept it, he's going to hit you with that flaming sword. And Emma says, give me that damn sword. It's going to go where the sun don't shine on you. He says, well, I also have some good news and bad news also, that I'm marrying Helen Mar. And she says, okay, what the hell is the bad news? He says, well, there's another 14-year-old that the Lord wants me to marry. And Emma starts crying, and in her crying she said, who the hell is this one? And Joesph said, it's Nancy Winchester. And so Emma started crying again, and she says here, she ran across the room with a broom and hit Joesph over the head several times, but he was just laughing, and he had a big smile on his face, and she knows why that big smile was there. Well, anyway, as time goes on here, and they lived in Nauvoo, she said things sometimes were okay in Nauvoo, but Joesph started the Nauvoo Legion. He wanted his own army. And Joesph said, I need my own army. God damn, everybody in the world hates me and my people. I'm run out of Kirtland, I'm run out of Missouri, and I still have the horse saddled. And she says, I know, I've seen that horse. The one with no legs. It's not going to run very fast, Joesph. And he says, it'll run fast enough, honey. So he says to her, honey, I'm a polygamist now. And Emma says, and I'm just about a murderess now, so don't let me catch you anymore in the bedroom. And Joesph says, well, I've married 30 other women who are the wives of men already married. And she said, the broom is not enough. So she grabs the poker from the fireplace and is beating the crap out of the guy, going, 30 women, and you're not happy with me. And so Joesph says over here, well, honey, there's some good news and some bad news. And she starts crying. She says, I'm just crying. I don't even want to hear the good news or the bad news. So anyway, he said, well, here's the news, okay? I'm the mayor of the town, and the Nauvoo Expositor, which is our newspaper, William Law and a couple of other people who now are excommunicated because of my shenanigans, they're going to report it. And now they're going to report it in the paper. She says, give me that horse. Give me that horse. My ass is out of here. I'm so embarrassed. And he said, honey, don't worry, you know, I'm the prophet of God. And now she breaks into laughter. She said, it was like stand-up comedy, she says. So anyway, he said, well, I'm the mayor, and we're going to go down there at midnight, and we're going to burn the Expositor and break up all of the presses. And she looks at him and goes, honey, my father is a prophet. You're a bozo. So it comes down here to, she says, and sure enough, he and the High Council and the people in the town went down at Joseph's encouragement and burned the Expositor. Well, now, she says, Governor Boggs was not happy with that shit. And Joesph jumped. He didn't have to jump very high, she says, but the horse with no legs, he got on. And he says, or she says, and he started to ride out of Nauvoo because he knows his ass was grass burning that press. So she says over here, Joesph, where are you going? And he said, somewhere where they've never heard of me. She goes, everyone's heard of you, dear. And he goes, well, I'm going to Carthage. I think that I can escape Governor Boggs and his army coming down here. So I'm going to Carthage jail. Why don't you just sit here? And she says, that's the smartest thing you've ever said to me, 'cause that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm not going to Carthage. So now she's reporting, in Carthage, he did not have good luck. Good luck. They put him upstairs in the jailhouse, and a mob, some of them, the people he's ripped off, not all of them were strangers. Some of the people who hated him for his shenanigans showed up. And they were trying to break the door down, and my husband, Joesph, snuck a gun in, and he shot 3 people, to the best of our knowledge. 2 of them were killed, and the other one, I don't know, his nose was blown off or his ear, something. But anyway, they broke in, and they shot Hiram, Joseph's brother, and then Joesph bravely ran to the window to try to jump. He's trying to escape. At least Hiram was standing up to the mob, but Joesph, she says, ran to the window, and he was shot a couple times and fell out by the well. Well, now she breaks into her story here that after these shenanigans and my husband's death, I feel bad that they tried to castrate him and tar and feather him. But now, she says, on second thought, it might have stopped him from some of the shenanigans he was going into. But anyway, he's dead. So she says, and Brigham Young showed up at my house and said they're all going west. And I told Brigham Young, not all are going west. I'm staying right here with my kids, and you guys take this cold church and put it where the sun don't shine. And Brigham said, we will, because I'm going to get 53 or 57 wives. And she took the poker to him, drove him out of the house. Now, these papers here are now for sale to the Mormon Church for $10 million. They're sacred, and you can see they're also secret. When you look at them, the words begin to appear. You guys can't see it, but I can. So I've reported what Emma Smith has said, and I'm waiting for the church to now do a documentary. They did it on the Joesph Smith papers. They ought to be fair and do it on the Emma Smith papers. Thank you.